you guys so much for checking us out. We are Team Hookset. It's spring, it's April, and it's time to catch some more fish.
It's been a slow bite, to tell you the truth, y'all. We've caught some fish, but we haven't been able to find a pattern. And typically the pattern, depending on the lake, it's pretty consistent, to tell you the truth. And what I mean is, there's 3 items that bass target in the spring: crawfish, bluegill, or shad. Typically, since invertebrates are the first to move, once the lake starts to heat up, they try to go after crawfish. But this year, we've caught 3 fish on crawfish patterns, which is just mind-blowing to us because that's kind of a staple in Colorado, especially. What I'm talking about, Lemuel caught bass in this wigglewort. I actually caught a fish on this crankbait, and I've caught 2 fish on jigs. I threw this black and blue jig 3 days ago because we were coming off of a cold front, and I trimmed the skirt because the fish's attitude didn't seem like they were too aggressive, but I put a trailer on it that was bulky, and in the water this thing slowly falls down. The fish bit it off the bottom, but they trapped it for a little while. So between the crankbait fish and having such a slow bite in the jigs, these fish are seeming like they're pre-spawned, but they're looking for warmth and eating when they're hungry.
Yeah, they haven't gone into their spring forage yet. You can tell that the females are definitely developing their eggs and everything. And they're showing a little bit of aggression here and there, but they're not at that normal full springtime, hallelujah, thank God I'm out here fishing type thing yet. But it's coming. So obviously, like we always say, you got to get to the water every day. You got to keep casting because you never know. So you just got to keep it up. It can be frustrating. It's fishing. It's not necessarily called catching. So you got to keep it up.
These 2 baits, they were shining a week ago. And let me tell you, I never throw swim baits or anything like that this early in the year because fish typically aren't looking for a meal that size. But we found a lake, and it was exactly what he described. Just the fish were hungry. The water heated up. It was a bright bluebird sunny day, but there was a lot of wind blowing. So it was low pressure. And we literally just happened to cross this massive school of fish right in front of us. Now, it was not like they were eating every single lure you threw in front of them. You still had to fish for them and catch them. But we kind of got an idea. We got to keep searching these different lakes because that bite happens at every lake every spring. These females have to eat before they go on bed. It just happened that way at one lake so far. You know, I fished from Boulder, Fort Collins, down to Littleton, everywhere I can go. I fish park lakes and all this. So I'm having sporadic success. I'm seeing a few fish here and there, but these fish are not locked down on anything. And the water's still chilly. It was, 45 this morning?
Yeah.
It was less than that.
Chilly the last few mornings.
So it's been sunny. It's supposed to have a warm front coming in this week. I've had 2 weeks ago this jerk bait. Very killer. A muddy lake where I caught a fish. It was actually almost 4 pounds. This bass was sitting off of a rock ledge, very stained water, but it hit this crankbait on a slow retrieve and a pause every 2 seconds. About a foot off the bottom where the bass hit it. I thought I had a pattern. Nothing after that. So don't be scared to switch baits. It's the time of year where you want to switch to anything you think might work because you actually never know. Don't be scared. Don't get into this idea of, it's just spring, I can't throw this. You can throw whatever you want.
Throw it all.
Just try to work it the right way. This Ned rig here, if you've seen any of our work, we don't like using small baits. I'm a power fisherman. But almost a month ago, this Ned rig was shining. It was just shining. That's what the fish wanted. And 2 days later, after I caught about 8 fish on it, they completely switched to a jerkbait. But what I think happened was the water heated up and all these fish were around wood. So as the temperature of the water increased, they were able to stay near the food source, stay near the cover, and just sit in the warmth and get hot. We caught fish that were doing this that just happened to just reach out and bite a bait. So as the attitude of the fish changes, that's when you can narrow your presentation down. What pound line were you throwing?
I was throwing this one on either 15 or 17, and Got a little bit of action on the craw here on 15. I think it was 15 on this one too. The jerkbait bites the last couple of weeks have been fewer, but they're still acting like they want some of that a little bit. That was on. I threw that on 15 pound because it was windy that day, so I didn't want the additional wind plus the force of me casting to pop my 12. But that was the only bite I got on that particular jerkbait. Nice bluebird sky day, high winds about a week and a half ago, but one bite, just one. You know the bass are there, but just that one bite is weird. But like you said, you got to keep on changing your lures, changing your presentation, and even if you haven't, let's say there's something that you know should work, but you haven't been able to get any action on it, keep throwing it. Change it up every now and then, but go back to it because the fish are going to be there. They may not want it the way you're presenting it that particular moment. Half an hour later, they might be all over it.
Step out of your comfort zone.
Definitely.
I had to do that last week. I went out at about 600 yards of some 14-pound fluorocarbon, and I actually re-spooled all my 15 with 14. And, in the last video we explained we don't like using lighter lines. Just the damage that it can take is not as great as a higher pound line, which I've cut my lures and trimmed line all this month, which is fine because the bite's been slower, so I'm trying to use that thinner line, get a little more action or a little more depth out of my bait just to try to trigger a strike. Promise you I will re-spool it with 15 and up. But right now, this fish are kind of proving that they want lighter line. When we were throwing these, this is obviously I would throw this on 20 pounder or something stronger, but that day the fish, it made no effect. They were actually hungry, and we had a great representation of what they wanted to eat. But even that day, that bite lasted almost an hour and a half, and then it slowed off. So one thing I've seen this spring is a lot of people moving. If you're gonna move, change your presentation. The fish are not biting what you're throwing. It's not necessarily because the wrong lure. It's you might not have thrown it at them enough. So when you move a location and you think that the fish aren't eating what your bait is, 99% of the time it's you and your bait. It is not the fish are not there. And all spring you see people walk the entire lake. Well, I want you guys to up on your bass knowledge. The bass are not bedding yet. If you're looking for beds, they're not on the shore. They're still offshore. Not offshore in the sense of deep water, but out of range of visual. And what I mean is these fish are staging near 45-degree angles anywhere they can find them. 45-degree angle allows the fish to get from warmth to depth, safety, quickly, and often the food source, the bait, likes to sit in that same depth range. So don't move as much, just keep casting more. As the summer progresses is when fish actually scatter in and everywhere. That is when you want to keep moving and trek out the entire lake if you need to. But in the spring, you actually need to stay put and keep casting. These fish are not in a migratory state yet. They're literally wanting to get warm so their eggs can develop. And as this happens, they have to eat, and that's just when they're eating when they want to. This will all increase, but every lake changes every year, and the patterns. So, like I said, this is all typical what I mentioned earlier, but you have to adapt, and that will make you a better angler.
You also got to keep in mind that, again, even though it's springtime, we're in Colorado. This water is still chilly. It's not as cold as it has been, but it's still chilly. It's still recovering from that mess we had about a month or so ago when it was actually
crazy
cold.
Blizzard.
Ridiculous freezing cold all weekend.
Oh,
it's still recovering from that weekend.
Yes.
So the water itself is still not warming up yet. It's getting there little by little, but as you've seen, we keep having these bluebird sunny days, but no clouds at night to keep the warmth within the atmosphere.
Yes.
So the water is losing whatever thermal energy it may have gained, not to mention the wind blowing on it. So no, like you said, they're not bedding just yet. They're starting to get there a little bit, but not even close by comparison. So continue to cast, continue to change your depths, and you'll have your success. Team Hook Set, you guys. Have you seen our shirts? That's a nice shirt you got on, Paul.
I like your shirt.
I like your shirt.
Casey's got one.
Casey's got one on too.
Yeah,
Man, these are some nice shirts.
Spiffy.
It's spiffy as heck.
Man, I would wear this to a dinner at a
I'd wear-
five-star restaurant.
I would wear it to 801 Chop House.
And I'd wear it proudly.
You guys want to get your own shirts? TeamHookset.com, you guys. teamhookset.com. You'll get you a free sticker with each shirt purchase through the month of April.
Thank you
and
so
you'll
much.
also be able to sign up for our newsletter, and you'll be able to follow us. You'll be able to follow along with all of our activities and see how things are going along the road. We're going to be setting up for our tournament practice for our Lake Fork event, the Skeeter event, in early June. So you'll be able to keep up with all that type of activity. Man, this has been a long time coming. We really appreciate you guys checking us out.
It's a dream come true, y'all.
Literally a dream come true.
You know, people talk about winning BassClass and all that. That's solidified in my mind it's going to happen. But my dream coming true is just this stuff. And I love connecting and meeting with people. I love to hear how we've influenced them. That to me is actual money. My fishing lures, I'm a millionaire, y'all. So anything extra is just happiness.
Spreading positivity.
We spend
and joy.
money to do what we do, and we love it. And then wouldn't rather do anything else. So
They say a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. There's no such thing as a good day at work.
no such thing as a bad day of fishing.
No, there's not.
It's soon gonna be stilled in all you all, and we want you to have the drive that we have. Not even for fishing, if it's not it. If we can still your passion for anything, that's what also brings us joy. So
Definitely.
we're gonna stick to fishing knowledge, but in the future, we love to hear what other things you guys are into that might not be fishing.
So check us out at teamhookset.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. Let us know what you'd like to see. Let us know your experiences. Tell us what you might want us to do videos on. Any
Yes.
particular tips or anything like that.
You're gonna give a wealth of knowledge, but like you said, give us what you want to know so we know what points you want to know, and we'll continue to give what we know.
That way we don't have to overlap knowledge. You might know how to tie your line perfectly. You might know how to spool your line yourself, which you should never have someone else do for you, by the way.
You should definitely learn how to spool your own equipment. It's nothing personal and nothing against anyone you don't know, but fishing is a tailored sport to you. And you cannot trust your gear if you did not put your hands on it. And this is an experience I had in the past when my dad spooled some of my equipment for me. It's my dad. It wasn't spooled the way I would do it. So take pride in your fishing, and it's that important.
Very much so. So again, you guys, teamhookset.com. We're going live. We'll be able to have the shirts available there.
April 12th. 10
April
o'clock.
12th, Monday morning. We'll be going live. You can get your shirts there. You can get yourself a free sticker. We will see you guys online. It's time for us to head out to the sun.
We've got to go fishing.
We got to go fishing. You guys be easy. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you.
Let me see. Young Mr. Chris Stickley down in Littleton.
We appreciate
you, man.
so
You look at every single thing that we post,
Thank
whether it's
you.
a fish or a
We
joke or
appreciate
anything.
it.
We appreciate that, man. Owen, the Arvada Angler, you look at our stuff too, man. We appreciate
so
you guys. Thank you so much. You guys get out there, keep casting. We're gonna get in touch this year. We're gonna do some things, collaborate, all kinds of stuff.
Got a surprise coming up for you all.
Got surprises for you too, especially. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much again. Teamhookset.com. Check it out. Sign up for the newsletter.
Thank
we
you.
are gone.